If everyone would like to take their seats, we're about ready to get started. Can everybody in the back hear okay? Okay, great. Well, thank you all for being here today. My name is Randy Leite. I'm the Executive Director of the Appalachian Children Coalition, one of the organizations that organized this today, along with Ohio University's College of Health Sciences and Professions and the Ohio Alliance for Population Health. And we're just thrilled to have everybody here today. This is the first time we've actually tried something like this. Our coalition has been around for about a year and a half, and this is our first attempt to try to pass along some information that people would find useful, and we're just thrilled to have Ohio University as our partner today. You know, our coalition, we really talk a lot about how we're here to be a servant to those who serve children and families, and I really believe that strongly, and I think this is hopefully one way we can provide service to all of you who are doing so much incredible work in the region. We're also happy to be a resource to any of you who might want some assistance in terms of the work you do. So if there's anything you'd like to talk about with us, just grab me some point during the course of the day, and we can certainly talk about things we might do to be a strong collaborative partner to all of you. I'd also like to welcome the people who are following on a live stream. I know we have a number of people watching online who were not able to be here today, and just excited that so many of you had an interest and committed the day to what we're talking about and to learning more about how to help children and families. Before we get too started, I'm just going to mention a couple of things. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. So you want me to keep talking? You told me to keep talking, and I stopped talking. As my family will tell you, I don't listen well. So I do want to mention a couple of things before we get started. First of all, there will be evaluations that will be distributed at the end of the day today. And this is important to us. This is the first time we've tried this. And so hearing from you about the day and topics that would be helpful for future symposia would be useful. So so please, if you would take a few moments to fill out the evaluations when they're distributed at the end of the day. And then when you bring the completed evaluation to turn in as you exit the room, we'll be able to hand you your certificate for participating today. For those of you who are participating remotely, I should also say we'll send an evaluation form to you via the email address you provided, and you'll have a chance to provide input as well. If you, for those who are watching remotely, if you put your name under the last question and other comments in the evaluation form, we'll make sure that you get a certificate in the mail. With all that being said, I also would like to just take a moment to invite Dr. John McCarthy, who is Interim Dean of the College of Health Sciences and Professions, to come up. You may not, some of you may not know, I was Dean of that college for 12 years and retired in December, and John's been very busy now for the last 10 months fixing everything, so we're glad he could take time away from repairing all the damage of 12 years to come in and talk today. So I'll invite John to come up for just a few moments.
Well, thanks very much, Randy. That wasn't exactly the handoff we discussed, but okay. As Randy mentioned, I'm John McCarthy, and I'm the Interim Dean of the College of Health Sciences and Professions, and I'm very happy to be partnering with the Appalachian Children's Coalition, as well as the Alliance for Population Health. Two things I'll just mention. One is that actually Randy left me many very nice things. And in addition to a refrigerator in my office, he also left me an incredible group of people in the Ohio Alliance for Population Health, as well as some outstanding partnerships that he had forged over the years. It was very easy. Sometimes you can't have to maybe not mention somebody as prominently, and sometimes mentioning somebody's name creates smiles or opens doors for you. And whatever Randy says about that, he's in the smile and opening doors category. He's forged great partnerships in the community. As I thought about just some quick remarks to set this off, I remembered where I started when I was working in central Pennsylvania. My training is as a speech and language therapist, and my first job after I finished and got my license was in central Pennsylvania in a rural area not unlike where I am now. In fact, coming here felt very familiar to me. But I was working for a school district there as a speech and language therapist. And I came into a situation where there'd been extensive litigation with a number of families in the area who had children with autism. And this was in the 90s. And the idea was to set up a classroom for children with autism, and they had to go through and get this set up. And I got brought in to help set up the classroom. It was a great opportunity, one I really look forward to. But I knew that there was definitely some contention there. One of the things that I did was I remember meeting with all of the families. I remember going to their houses. I remember seeing where they lived and meeting kids and seeing the things that they did on a daily basis. And that experience was invaluable. And building a partnership with the families was critical in setting up the classroom. But what I quickly found out, and something I maybe hadn't been trained for quite as well, was that there were a number of other agencies, there were a number of other people, not unlike me, who all wanted to help and participate. And there was a real need to bring people together to figure out how we best coordinated our services. And in some cases we did very well, and in other cases maybe we struggled a little bit. But it's really one of my original lessons is about a coalition of people that it takes to serve children and families, and especially in a rural region like the area where I worked in, it's critically important to have regular meetings like this. We talk, we come together, we figure out what some of the major issues are, but we have to keep working on this, just like I had to keep working with the families that I met. We had some times where things seemed to be going great, and then we had some major setbacks of things that we just couldn't have anticipated. But when our networks were strong, we were able to weather different storms that came up. So I was reflecting on that experience today, wondering where some of those students and families are now. A couple of them I've kept in touch with over the years, and they've all been stories that make me smile. So that's a good thing, and really the best possible outcome I think I could have hoped for. And there's always a sense of feeling like when you leave a place, you've made a difference. So to come full circle, I felt that where I started out when I was in central Pennsylvania. And I hope that Randy feels that way in bringing a group together like this and seeing some successes that he did indeed make a difference. And we have actually built something here that we can continue working on. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I do appreciate John not sharing what was inside the refrigerator that I left him as well, so thank you for that. I do also want to, John mentioned the Ohio Alliance for Population Health, and I do want to mention they were the partners, not just partners in planning this day, but really responsible for much of the day. And I want to give a shout out to Tracy Plouk and Michael Searles over here who really planned the day, got all the details done, have organized everything, and they've been wonderful partners. I always talk about partners when I just have to walk into a room and show up and everything's done. Those are the partners I love. So I don't know if it's a true partnership, but thank you. Thank you. And I should also say, just building on some of John's comments, I mean, he and I both have already used the word partnerships, and I really do believe, every one of you in the room can do a lot of wonderful things and a lot of good things, but certainly every one of us in the room can do great things when we do it together with partners. And everything we as a coalition do, and everything that I know John is committed to doing and the Alliance is committed to doing is being done better with partners and collaborative efforts. And so I really do think today is not just about hearing some information of interest, but also maybe having a chance to dialogue and talk with people and come out of this with maybe some opportunities to work together on some things that would be really exciting for the region. And with all that being said, I do want to mention one of the things that I've most enjoyed in the 10 months I've been involved with the coalition is getting a chance to work with any number of entities as strong partners, and certainly not the least of those is the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services. And we're really thrilled today to have Bobby Boyer from the department opening the day for us. Bobby is the Deputy Director for Prevention Services at the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services. And that really, her role as Director of Prevention Services builds on a long career in the prevention world. Her prevention experience spans more than 4 decades with work in administration, strategic planning, program development, staff supervision and training, marketing, and community collaboration. She worked in a consultant role with a broad sector of community leaders from government, business and industry, schools, courts, churches, and community groups, with her work focusing on comprehensive strategies for the prevention, intervention, and suppression of drugs and crimes. So just as an aside, the kind of person you really want working for all of us in state government. I think she really exemplifies that so well. In her current role, Bobby's responsible for managing the department's overall prevention efforts, which include making sure programming is aligned with priorities established by the governor's Recovery Ohio initiative, and ensuring that proven age and environmentally appropriate education is provided to Ohio's youth from kindergarten through 12th grade. Throughout her career, Bobby has had many has led many collaborative preventive efforts locally, including the development of the Sandusky County Prevention Network. She was a founding board member of the Ohio Parents for Drug-Free Youth, now the Prevention Action Alliance. She completed a 6-year term of service for the Ohio Chemical Dependency Professionals Board in December 2018 and has served on the board's prevention committee since 2007. Bobby holds independent licensure from the Ohio Counselor and Social Worker Board and the Ohio Chemical Dependency Professionals Board, along with the highest certification in prevention. We are just so honored to have her with us today to kick off the symposium and share some perspectives from the department regarding the challenges and opportunities before us. Bobby was not able to make it down to Athens today, but we're going to be able to hear her through the miracle of Zoom. And at my age, you still find Zoom and those things a miracle. So thank you for tolerating an old guy. Please join me in welcoming Bobby Boyer.